Hi everyone, it's Diane. Welcome. Welcome back if you've been with me before. If you are new, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're going to do a little paper crafting today. I know I didn't get back last week and do my second stamp set from my A to Z project, but my little sinus cold here is beating me up. So I'm hoping I can get through this today without making too many sniffly sounds. So I hope you're all doing well. Other than allergies and stuff, we're all doing great here. Getting ready for Easter. And I wanted to get on here and do this card so I could wish everyone a happy Easter, because as busy as this week's being, I don't think I'll do a second one this week. The stamp set that I am going to use is Welcome Easter. This was the one from the end of my bookshelf that was up next. We're going to make a fun fold card today. We're going to make a shutter card. This is going to fit in a 5x7 envelope. I'll show you how to do the belly band. You don't have to do that. You can decorate directly on the front of your card if you like. But if you want to help to keep it closed, I was going to grab an envelope because I know when you put a belly band on there, it sticks out just a little bit more, but I think it still fits. So this is the card, and when we open it up, we just have our cute little Easter bunny on the inside. And that's the shutter in the middle. And I think I've done these cards before. I know we did the iris fold card before. But I think that was just all folds laid on to the card front. It wasn't like an interactive type card. I've cut out most of my pieces, and I did color an image in just to save some time, and I'll put all of the measurements in the description box here just in case you miss them as I go along. But then that slips right over the top. I don't think I have 5x7 behind me. Did I? Oh yeah, I do. Let's see if this fits in here. It should still fit. I just think with the belly band, it makes it a little... Oh, no, it's fine. All good. So, there we go. All right. So, this one I did in Gorgeous Grapefruit and Calypso Coral were the Stampin' Up! Colors that I used. The second one that I'm going to do, I'm using Shaded Spruce and Granny Apple Green. And I forgot to get the name of the old Designer Series paper. Was Berry Delightful Designer Series paper. I didn't have any of the berry punches or anything, but I did like the green background, so that's what I went with. Again, my projects are trying to use the stuff that we have before we go buy more. From the Welcome Easter set, I stamped the little chickie. Isn't cute? And I stamped that in Smoky Slate because I didn't want a harsh outline. If you like a nice bold black outline, then you can use either your Memento Tuxedo Black ink or your VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink is always a good option. I stamped some little grassy spots beside him and stamped in some flowers. And I colored those with Lovely Lipstick. Although I think most of that's going to get covered up. I think in our little window, we're only really going to see the chickie. Okay. So I have him colored just to save a minute, because you know I'm not the quickest coloring person. I'm using my layering ovals. You can use squares, circles, your Stitch So Sweetlies, anything that you can layer up and make a frame. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And that frame is for this piece right here, just to go around your opening of your stamped image to make it look a little bit more finished. Okay, where are all my dimensions? We're going to start with a piece of cardstock for your base. And this is 10 by 6.5. On our 10-inch side, we're going to score at 2.5, and this is just scoring, and at 7.5. Oh, I got too much junk out yet. I've been up here trying to clean some of it up, but it'll never get clean. Am I the only one like that? Like you're in a constant state of cleaning up your craft room, right? Okay, 2.5 and 7.5. Then we're going to need to make our panels, and you'll need 4 of these, 2 for on the front and 2 for the inside. So for the mat, you're going to make 4 of them at 2.25 by 6.25. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then with your pattern paper, whatever you are using, those are 2 by 6. So you need 4 of them as well. And those are going to layer inside each of these rectangles. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, those are ready. Then we're going to need a piece of solid cardstock, and this is going to be cut to 3 inches by 7.5, and we're going to score 1/2 inch flap on each end. So there's 1/2 of an inch there, and then I just flip it around depending on what scoreboard you're using or trimmer. Do whatever works best for you, but I have 1/2 inch fold now on each end. Okay, set that one aside. Now we need a piece of pattern paper to go into the center of that. And that is going to be oh, there it is, 6.25 by 2 3/4. 2 3/4 by 6 1/4. I think I did it at 6.5. I think I did because my 1/2 inch mark is right there. So 6.25 is kind of hard to see. All right, turn that little bit off. That's going to layer in the center of that white strip that we just put the 1/2 inch score marks in. Okay, we may as well get the rest of the paper cut while we're at it. On the inside of our card base, we're going to cut another piece of pattern paper for our background. You can also cut a piece of white the same size that you will add to the back if you want to maybe write a note or stamp a little bit more of an image or whatever. You don't have to. I'm not doing it on this card. I did do it on the orange one just as an example, but I'm not going to on this one. These are cut at 4 3/4 by 6.25. And then for the little shutter piece that closes and opens on the inside, you're going to need 2 of these. These are cut at 3 3/4 by 3.5. Okay. Then on the 3 3/4 inch side, we're going to do this first. On the 3 3/4 inch side, we're going to score 1/2 of an inch only on one side. And do the same thing on the second panel. So make sure you have it on the 3 3/4 inch side and score 1/2 of an inch. And we're doing this next because this is probably the most most confusing part. It's not confusing, really. Okay. Let's fold those back just so that we make sure we're doing this in the right order. So with my, we're only gonna measure one of them. We're just gonna trace it on the second one to make it easy, because I'm too tired to do it twice. So with our little fold on our left hand side, we're gonna mark this at 1 5/8. 1 4/5. And just a light little mark. This is the back side of this panel, so you're not going to see it, but I still don't want to do it really dark. And then we're going to move this with the fold on the bottom, and we're going to make another line at 1 7/8. 4, 5, 6, 1 7/8. Okay. Where they meet in the middle, that's where we're going to use our center. We're going to use that part as our center. So if you have a little ruler, you can see my folded piece is still on my left. Take your ruler from that dot to the outer corner. And that dot to the outer corner. We're going to cut this piece out. And I'm just going to do it with my scissors. You can do it on your trimmer if you want to. I actually found that when I tried to do it on my trimmer, I did it a little crooked. So I'm just going to snip this with scissors up to that dot. And then stop. Don't cut any further. Then, my little eraser. Now I'm going to take my other one and I'm going to make sure my folds are on the same side, line them up, and trace that cutout section. And cut that V out as well. So now we have a left and a right hand side. One piece will be on top, and then if I'm putting my right side of my shutter on top of my left side at the top of it, then my bottom one's going to go underneath. So they're almost woven together and they'll form a square. Okay, just set those down for a minute and we'll get our centerpiece ready that we have our hole to die cut, whether it's going to be a square, an oval, a circle. I'm using ovals. So I'm going to take my designer paper, my pattern paper, center it on that white side, and this doesn't have to be white. I chose white because I wanted it to just go with my green plaid over here that has some white in it, and try to get that centered up. Now take your layering dies, and the smallest of the two will get die cut from the center. You can put the image wherever you want it to be. I'm keeping mine more towards the top because I want to put my Easter greeting down on the bottom. So you can run this through your die cut machine, and then whatever color you want your frame to be around that, And I've actually cut out of the dark green and white because I don't know which one I want yet. You're going to layer these up together, leaving your little space in between, and then die cut a piece of your cardstock. You'll get a couple little extra ovals wherever they went, and those are always fun. Those are always fun just to keep and set aside, and I have a little plastic thing that I put my extra die cut pieces in. Might be able to use that on another card. I do have one of these already glued and die cut out, so we can save a minute and not die cut. Here's my oval cut out of the pattern paper and my white. And here's my frame, either out of the dark or the white. I don't know. It's gonna, for me, it's gonna depend on what it looks like with the little chickie behind it, I think. See, I think the white is gonna be too pale. That's why I cut it. Oh yeah, I think that's gonna have to be the dark green. I think that makes him pop out a little bit better. Okay. So I'll just set my white ones aside. Another card. And let's start putting some of this stuff together. Okay. So we can take our card base. I'm going to put these oval dies away so I do not lose them. I still had all this stuff downstairs from our stamp workshop last week, and my kitchen table was a wreck. I was to the point where, well, because I kept everything down there thinking that I would do my Easter cards as well. I couldn't even find anything. When you're folding these panels in, try to get your centers to meet in the middle. Oh, that worked out pretty good. Yay! If you have scored just a little bit off and they overlap, either try to fold your fold back a little bit and get them even, or if you have to trim off a sliver, you can do that, but you don't really want them overlapping. Okay. Now we can take this centerpiece, and that was the 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. And I'm going to just lay that on the center panel of my card base. And then I'm going to layer up my little rectangles onto their coordinating mats. And I called my doctor Friday and said, you know, I think I might need an antibiotic. I think it's probably a sinus infection. And of course, rather than, I have an antibiotic available if I want to go get it, but they really recommended that I try like the over-the-counter stuff, nasal spray, Tylenol, you know, hot tea, lemon, which we do anyway, but so I've been doing that, and I don't know if I need to go get the medicine or not. With the holiday coming up, I don't really want to be sick. I have things to do. It was bad enough we had our Lady Scouts group met Saturday and worked with Shenango Valley River Watchers and picked up trash. Oh, look at me. Look what I'm doing. Pay attention, Dave. Is that too far? I think that'll have to get glued down because I'm talking. Picked up trash around the water down here. I live near a reservoir, a lake. Not really a lake, it is a reservoir. But people fish and boat and stuff down there. We have a couple of really beautiful hiking trails down around that area. So we went and picked up all kinds of junk. And my husband's like, you're going to get sick. I didn't want to tell him. I think I already am, but the weather's not really going to affect that. If anything, being out in the fresh air is probably going to do me some good. All right. Let me get the rest of those on. Oh, need a tissue, sorry. Oh, goodness. The never-ending one, you know? Never-ending sniffles. And then we have a restaurant down by the reservoir called the Terra, a Country Inn. And it's used frequently for wedding receptions and banquets and stuff. And they were very kind and fed the River Watcher group that was working to clean up the area. So we had a really nice lunch down there. Finished that up just in time for the storms to begin again. The other two are the panels that are going to go on the front of the card, and these are the ones that could be decorated up any way you want them to be. If you have some die cut images that you want to put on there, or you want to add another white panel in the center and then stamp on that, that would be really very nice. You know what I should do? Oh, thankfully I didn't have that stuck down all the way. Close this so I can make sure it's lined up. My mats are lined up nice. Huh. That would be a smart thing to do. So I don't get one higher or lower than the other. Oh, there we are. And then, before we get into our shutter part, I did just take to make a belly band on here, and I made mine 2 inches wide by 7 inches long, and then I scored it at 1 3/4 and 4 3/4. Is that really only 7 inches? No, it's 11. Oh, I know. It is 2 by 11, and I scored it at 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. Scored it at, I'm lying again. Lie. Oh, that's my designer series paper pieces that I'm looking at. See, I do have booger brain. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is 2 by 11, and I scored it at 2 inches and 7 inches so that it will fit around my card. Oh my goodness. And then my designer series paper is 1 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And I cut 2 of those because we're going to glue these together to make the band. Try to line my outside edges up. I'm just going to do the belly band so I can get it out of the way. Okay. And then these are the 1 3/4 by 4 3/4 inch pieces that I want to get centered. Again, these would be cute if you have images die cut to go on the front. Make sure if you're using a pattern piece that you keep your directions going on the same path. Yep, you can use your belly band now for more of a focal point. I'm using mine for my greeting because I'm not going to layer anything else onto the front panels of my card. So this is my greeting. Okay. And then this belly band is going to fit around our card base. It's a little stiff, but it does work. Oh, yeah, sorry. There we go. Come on. Okay. So let's put our little images on the inside. Now you can do this a couple different ways. I personally, before I put my little shutter pieces on here, I want to know where my image is going to be. So I'm going to take that white panel. Oh, I guess I better put my frame around there. Now that I decided on what color I wanted, forgot to add it. Now I can fold those little 1/2-inch pieces toward the back of the card. And we're going to take the top of this panel, and I'm only going to glue on the top piece right now. And I want to get it centered. This is going to leave about a 1-inch section on each side of the center panel. Let's see, everybody's texting over here. My girlfriend's grandson was born this morning. So congratulations to all. I'm going to line this fold up with the very tippy top of the card. About 1 inch in from the fold. So put that there. Hold that down even with the top. Turn it right side up. And get my glue eraser. I don't want it to stick when my flap is closed. Any residue off of that. Better. Okay. Now my little chickie should line up right below that 1/2-inch fold, but before I glue it on, I want to make sure. Just because once he's on there, he's on there. See, you're not going to see too many of my little flowers and stuff around there. I might have to die cut some little pink flowers and put on the outer panel. I might do that. And then we can line this up. Yes. Thought I was telling you wrong, but this is right. This is right. Okay. Now I can work on my little shutter window that's going to open and close. Where'd you go? Remember, opposite up and downs. So I'm lining the tops of these kind of up with the same edge that I put my stamped image, so that my little chickie is going to be in the middle. The hard part is trying to hold everything in place, because we want our edges on the top of this shutter, opening and closing, to stay even. We want our centers to be together. And we want the distance to the outer edge of our fold to be equal on each side. Bring that up a little more towards that top. should do. All right, now if I can keep everything even. I can add a little bit of glue on this folded flap, only on the flap where we scored. Glue's in the way back there. And then close the front panel. While that's closed, we're going to do the same on the left folded panel. Still trying to make sure it's all even up. Okay, and close that flap. Now they meet in the middle. Give my glue a chance to get stuck on there. And there we are. Okay. I wish that one would have gone over like that one did. Oh, it's not gonna stick all the way. No, 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 you can't do that. You have to stick. Let's try that one again. Behave and stick. I don't think I held it long enough. That's better. Then, with our card all put together and our little shutter pieces, we're going to close the little window over the top. The piece that we have folded on the bottom, you almost have to close your card up the entire way. And you'll have that one little folded flap. We're going to glue that and let it stick to the back of the card. It wasn't really too hard. Taking everything everywhere. Then, when we open our card, there's our little chick. So I want to put an Easter greeting in here. I used my same colors that I used on my belly band. I used the granny apple green, and then I just framed it on a piece of shaded spruce, because those were my colors that I used on my card base. And then I can center this. And here's where you might feel that you want to put that piece of white on the back. I think this is light enough that I can sign it on the inside flaps, but or even over here if I had to. But if you don't want to write on your paper, or you don't think it's going to show up, then you can use that panel that's the same size as this and adhere it to the back of your card. Get this belly band on here. These layers do make it a little thick, I'm telling you. Okay, and we will add, I'm going to add a couple little rhinestones on here, which I didn't pull out. And those are the autumn ones from Honeybee. So I hope my ladies that I sent your packages out, I hope you got them both. I know Sonia did. She emailed me. I hope those are items that you find useful in your card making and that you enjoy the stuff that I sent you. I still have tons. Didn't, excuse me, it didn't even make a dent. I wish it would have, but it didn't. Where are my little tools? I thought I brought them all back upstairs. Well, that's not a good sign. They're around somewhere. Whoop, here, little fella. And there we are. There is our Happy Easter shutter card with a belly band. Yay! And it wasn't that hard, and I did it without screwing it up. And that's with Welcome Easter. Another one of my stamp sets that I needed to use. Show some love. I am going to get some little flowers, I think, and put on the outside of here, and this card is ready to go. So thanks for joining me. I hope you like that, and I hope you can give that a try with any stamp set and pattern paper that you have. So you guys all have a blessed Easter and enjoy time with your family or your loved ones, and I will see you again next week. Thanks, everyone.